Good evening. Please forgive me, this is just a test, so the quality of the video, of this video, and of this presentation um, shall probably not be great. To start with, I am going to speak about the 17 SDGs. What are the 17 SDGs? On 25th September 2015, the United Nations General Assembly adopted an agenda, the so-called post-2015 development agenda. It is introduced with these words. Resolution adopted by the General Assembly on 25th September 2015 without reference to a main committee, transforming our world, the 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development. So there's this preamble on the 2030 Agenda and its 17 Sustainable Development Goals is introduced in the preamble as a plan of action for people, planet, and prosperity. Countries and all stakeholders acting in collaborative partnership will implement this plan. Well, let's see what this plan is about. Well, the United Nations states that they are determined to end poverty and hunger, to protect the planet from degradation, ensure that all human beings enjoy prosperous and fulfilling lives, to foster peace, to foster peaceful and inclusive societies which are free from fear and violence, and mobilize the means required to implement such an agenda through a global partnership for sustainable development based on a spirit of global solidarity. The declaration follows with an introduction with the heads of state and government and high representatives meeting at United Nations headquarters in New York from 25th to 27th September 2015, have decided today on new global sustainable development goals. So, which goals are those? Where do they come from? On 2000, the United Nations set the Millennium Development Goals. The Millennium Development Goals were agreed upon by states, and in the 2015 declaration, in its introduction, the United Nations General Assembly states that there has been some progress. After 15 years of work under the MDG or Millennium Development Goals framework. It says that however, that progress has been uneven, particularly in Africa, less developed developed countries, landlocked developing countries, and small island, where some of the MDG remain off track, in particular those related to maternal, newborn, and child health and to reproductive health. Well, I must say that development, very little development has been achieved regarding reproductive rights and women's health. And this applies not only to the least developed countries worldwide, but also to certain countries which are recognized as emerging countries or emerging economies, where a certain level of general development has been achieved, but which remain, but where development remains quite uneven. I refer particularly to countries where inequalities amount. So the United Nations announced from the 25th to the 27th September 2015, 17 Sustainable Development Goals with 169 associated targets, which are integrated and indivisible. Well, the United Nations General Assembly in this document reaffirmed the importance of the Universal Declaration of Human Rights. But I ask the United Nations, what has been done to compel certain states to respect, promote, and guarantee women's rights? We can no longer admit that in the name of multiculturalism and cultural differences, women's rights remain overlooked and ignored. So, commitment to human rights ought to be full commitment. That is, the United Nations must no longer tolerate that its member states resist or refuse the full acknowledgement that women's rights are human rights, and no gender-based, no sex-based legal difference or social difference must be tolerated by no means. So let me enlist the 17 SDGs. Goal 1, Sustainable Development Goals. Goal 1, end poverty in all its forms everywhere. Okay. Goal 2, end hunger, achieve food security and improve nutrition and promote sustainable agriculture. I ask you, is that possible without sustainable population growth? It is inevitable to destine more land to agriculture and pasture if the population grows. continually growing population means more houses needed, more sanitation structure needed, um, more land, more land to grow crops and to graze herds are needed. So population growth inevitably leads to land use change. So, how can we end hunger, achieve food security, improve nutrition, and promote sustainable agriculture if we don't take the overpopulation, the population growth problem seriously? Ensure healthy lives and promote well being for all at all ages. So, if people are born into miserable households, by no means can any organization, the state or non-governmental organization ensure healthy lives and promote well-being if we do not fight sexism. By no means healthy lives can be ensured and promoted for women of all ages. Um, if girls are raised from their very first breath for submission, for obedience, for misery, goal number 3 is a joke. Goal number 4, ensure inclusive and equitable quality education and promote lifelong learning opportunities for all. Well, this seems easy, but it takes more than measures taken at state level. It takes states and societies to take education, teaching, and equality seriously. So, because equitable quality education means that no child shall be left behind. No child, no matter if they're boys or girls, shall be left behind. Achieve gender equality and empower all women and girls. So, the United Nations must stop to accommodate sexism. Sanctions must be carried out against countries which promote or tolerate sexism in its legal frame or in its societies. For example, a state in which its chief discriminates his own kids, his own daughters, he can no longer be treated as a respectable chief of state. So If the United Nations really means goal number 5, then sexism must be treated as an offense, as a crime against mankind, as something as serious as racism. So if Southern Africa during the apartheid regime suffered several sanctions, why don't countries which discriminate against women suffer hard sanctions too? The answer seems to be clear. Someone is accommodating sexism. Goal number 6, ensure availability and sustainable management of water and sanitation for all. Goal number 6 is also connected with population growth. The more population grows, the more people will need water and sanitation. Goal number 7, ensure access to affordable, reliable, sustainable, and modern energy for all. Goal number 8, promote sustained, inclusive, and sustainable economic growth, full and productive employment, and decent work for all. So, when we talk about sustainable economic growth, we talk about respect for certain basic economic rights, regardless of certain formalities. In certain countries, in Africa, in Brazil, many small farmers lose their lands thanks to invasions and unlawful or other forms of unlawful law seizures, because many of them occupy their lands for generations, and they have no formal title to the land, no document warranting them the right on the land. So other people are eager to acquire land, no matter how it, no matter by which means. They in partnership with corrupt or delinquent politicians, they grab land illegally. So goal number 9, build resilient infrastructure, promote inclusive and sustainable industrialization, and foster innovation. Goal number 10, reduce inequality within and among countries. Goal number 11, make cities and human settlements inclusive, safe, resilient, and sustainable. This makes us think about population growth once again, because huge cities are not sustainable cities at all. Huge cities fail to be safe and resilient and sustainable. The overpopulation issue challenges sanitation, challenges um, sustainable means of transport, sustainable energy, and promote something that is a key factor to environmental destruction, which is land use change. Goal number 12, ensure sustainable consumption and production patterns. Goal 13, take urgent action to combat climate change and its impacts. There's no way to fight climate change without taking population growth seriously. No matter no matter how hard we try to diminish our ecologic footprint, the more the population grows, the more footprint it generates. Goal 14, conserve and sustainably use the oceans, seas and marine resources for sustainable development. Goal 15, protect, restore and promote sustainable use of terrestrial ecosystems, sustainably manage forests, combat desertification, and halt and reverse land degradation and halt biodiversity loss. What are the UN and its Security Council doing against chiefs of state that fail to protect their terrestrial ecosystems and to preserve forests, and who, on the contrary, foster deforestation and biodiversity loss? What to do with such states, chiefs of state? Why not take action against them? Why not prohibiting them to speak at the United Nations? Why not punish them with hard sanctions? Why not? I think that chiefs of state which promote with its disastrous policies, which promote deforestation and biodiversity loss, they must be tried by an international court of justice, because damaging the ecosystems, damaging nature, and doing it deliberately is a crime against mankind, depending on the extent and on the importance of what is done or omitted. Goal 16, promote peaceful and inclusive societies for sustainable development. Are we promoting peaceful and inclusive societies if we are forcing people to accommodate sexism and religious fanaticism in the name of tolerance? No, we must not tolerate intolerance. We must not tolerate human rights abuse, Human rights abuse is not cultural diversity. Religious fanaticism is not a right. It is human rights abuse, human rights violation. Goal 17. Strengthen the means of implementation and revitalize the global partnership for sustainable development. Well, this was not meant to be a conference, it's just a test. I'm testing a new platform to record videos online. I think I think this video is dreadful, so please forgive me. Don't take it seriously. So, I ought to go now. I'll delete it as soon as I can. Um, have a good evening. Bye.